Halito, peace. And paid to watch Tay relatives. All right, so just watched the video with the Empress Phoenix Moon on Sanetta's channel. I can't believe how everybody's still stuck on this DNA thing. All right, so let's break down DNA for a minute. All right, so because I think a lot of people not understanding how DNA works. This is DNA. First of all, something that Garfield said didn't even make sense. He was sitting there talking to a female, right? Talking to a female, talking about can trace back to see her father and father's father and father. That even can't even be done with DNA. First of all, they can only trace the mitochondrial DNA of a female. So that's just the X gene. They can't see the Y. That's number one. With a male, you can take both the Y and the X gene. And so with a male, you can see the mother's mother, the mother's mother's mother, the mother's mother's mother, and you can see the father, the father's father, the father's father's father. But you already can't do that with a female. You can only see the mother's mother going back. So Garfield, I thought you was really a research. I mean, what is this? That's not research. It didn't take me long to know that information when I first checked into DNA in the first place. So that's bogus. That's bogus. Doesn't make no sense. Okay. Now, with the DNA, all right. So it's only direct lineage. And it has to be in that order. So, for instance, one generation you got 4 grandparents. Peace, Empress, peace, Star Straight. In one generation you got 4 grandparents. DNA will allow you to see 2 of them. Next generation you have 8 grandparents. DNA will allow you to see 2 of them. Then after that you have 16 grandparents. DNA can still only allow you to see 2 of them, and that's if you're a male. If you're a female, you still only seeing 1. All right, so you go back another generation, then you have 32 grandparents. You can still only see 2. So you could have a lineage that they could see, and you could be totally Aboriginal American, everything in between, and they won't be able to see anything at all. So is this supposed to be reliable content? Is that something that you can basically say, I'm a direct descendant of this person? I can trace my lineage all the way to this person? Won't even give you that. Then another thing that Phoenix Moon pointed out was, what is the prototype that they're going off of? DNA, they figured out the sequence in the 1980s, and all DNA tests since then were based on what was figured out in 1980s. They didn't go back and look at fossils from Lucy or anybody else that you could say came a prototype of anything. So it's only based on the migrations of people that were there since the 80s. Since the 80s. Way after colonization, way after the Middle Passage, way after the transatlantic slave trade. And so you can't tell me nothing about where I'm from. You have nothing that bases that. So the whole DNA concept is moot. It's moot. But these records, that can't be denied. That's why it's so important that we do our genealogy research. And we go back. You can see the records. You can see who your grandma was, who her parents were, and so forth, and go back. That's undeniable. That's undeniable. And they keep talking about, what's up, Master M, what's up? And they keep talking about this is their primary source they want to go off of. Then you got to think about, where is this source coming from? All right, so it's already been proven to be futile. Anytime you can send a couple send in their DNA along with the dog's DNA, and all came back with human DNA. So you know that it's flawed. But yet this is what everybody wants to base everything on. It's indoctrination on a huge level. Then think about the sources. Who financing these companies that are doing these DNA? What agenda do they have? Or that doesn't count no more? That doesn't mean anything? It's unreal. That's unreal. The same people that are in control, and these are private companies. So, all right, so Garfield pointed out, which I'm not sure about because I haven't heard about this, that they have the DNA of every child ever since 1991. I'd like to see that report for one, because that's something else we can sue for. Because that information is we're not aware of. I don't remember signing no paperwork for you to take my children's DNA. So where is this coming from? So yeah, I do want to see that report. Show me that report. And if that's the case, they still don't have everybody's DNA. I was born in 77. I'm 41 years old. So did they get my DNA from that too? It's crazy. And yes, they are funded by the same people. All right, let's look at the movie Roots. Everybody knows by now that Alex Haley admitted that the whole story was plagiarized. But this was done in the early 70s. Had the best actors that we had of that time period. Who financed this? Who paid for this? Propaganda on a huge level. Who paid for that? Because they wanted people to think that we all came from Africa. Why? Because they have a lot to lose. You got to pay back the people you stole the land from. You got to pay it back. So of course you can make those people disappear, right? And if you couldn't do it physically, then you do it with paper genocide. Over and over how much paper genocide has been done to us. So come on, man. Think about your sources. Is this a primary resource? Is this a peer-reviewed resource? But these people talking about they're educated. They went to college. Yet I seen Garfield try to respond to a man, Chief Ether, and Atante's one. He pulls up Wikipedia that can be changed by anybody. So this is a peer-reviewed now, right? Come on, man. It's sickening to see some stuff. And you think you're dealing with educated people, but they're not educated. They only indoctrinated. That's not education. When a culture has been oppressed by people, and all the knowledge that they get comes from those same people, you are not free. You are a slave. And you're only regurgitating the information. Yeah, so like I'm going out. See, they're trying to stop me. They're trying to stop me. So if your grandparents told you that you're ending in your family, yet you go to school and they tell you, oh, we all came from Africa, you gonna go with that versus what your people told you? It's unreal. And that's how big the indoctrination has been. The same people that control the education system that we're a part of are the same people that control the monetary system that we're on, are the same people that control everything that we watch on television, everything we hear on the radio. The same people on the radio, the same people, the same people. And you don't think they have an agenda? There's no agenda though, right? It's unreal. It's unreal. I'm not gonna be on this long. I just had a few things that I just wanted to address because it's mind blowing to me that people can just accept this stuff and run with it without doing the checking on it themselves. That's why it's important that we check on our genealogy. It's important because those records can't be denied. You go with the records. You go with the records. All right. So that's a couple things that I wanted to touch on. It's just I can't understand it. I can't understand it. How are people still gonna just go off the strength of what they've been taught? So if somebody gives you something to tell you, oh, well, everything started in Africa, and you're just gonna take that for face value. But then you start seeing that there's records that, oh, there's older pyramids in Americas. They don't teach nothing about the Americas before colonization. We don't know what happened over here. What we do know is the Vatican came and they confiscated a whole bunch of stuff to make sure that we couldn't see it. It's a reason for that too, I'm sure. This is stuff that they keep from you. Why we can't just open our eyes and start accepting things for what we see it as, face value, not based on what was given to you. They wanted you to think these things. Go get it and learn it for yourself. Follow your own records. Follow your own records. Chances are, now there may be a few that it'll take you back to the continent of Africa. But from everybody that I've been dealing with and the research that I've been doing, I ain't seen it happen for nobody. Where is it at? Where is it? I don't know, man. I don't know. It don't make no sense to me. All right. But you know, I try to stay with my positive vibes. I try not to go too much into this. Like, y'all might notice I don't drop videos regularly. It's just when I got something on my mind, I feel like I need to let it loose. I come up here, I do a little something. I'm not one that looks for the limelight. I'm not a YouTuber. This is not what I do. But I know at this junction that we're in right now, with all these lies that's being taught, every voice counts. So I'm gonna add mine. I'm gonna make sure that I'm heard too. All right. That being said, what I am into is making progress, getting beyond this. My thing is, I'm not trying. All right, I'm 41 years old. All my children are now grown. I don't have any grandkids yet. But the last thing that I want to happen is my grandkids to come into this world born in the same slavery that we've been going through for all these years. Where is the progress? With these social security card numbers and these birth certificates. Why are we still on that? Still going to school and being taught these same lies from the same oppressors. Why? We don't have to do that. We have laws now that protect us, that allow us to go in these schools and snatch out anything that is not accurate when it refers to our people. Why aren't we on that? We got to get on that. And I think I was listening to a brother last night, the indigenous one, and he touched on, are we doing things as individuals or are we doing things as a nation? Some people that felt like this movement, which is us waking up to the knowledge and coming to the truth and representing who we really are,